Fuck your New Year's resolution. All right. I know it's the beginning of the video, but I had to make that blunt statement to get my point across what I want to talk about in this video because it is very, very important. Now, really quickly, right before we start, I want to thank everybody for watching in the past month and a half. If you've been keeping up with my content since the channel's inception, and I want to welcome everybody who's brand new to the channel. We hit 15,000 views in the first month alone, and I'm really grateful for that. I want to thank everybody for their watch time. Thank everyone for finding my channel, maybe dropping a like, a comment, whatever you guys have done. It's really helped me out, really helped me see the kind of content that I really want to put out there and help kind of guide me on my direction on YouTube. Now, before we start, like I just said, I want to tell you guys the kind of content that I'm putting out there and what I'm planning to put out. I know I've talked about I'm going to put out real estate content. That's still coming. Lifestyle content is still coming. But I also want you guys to know my personality. I want you to know who I am as a person, right? Because if you don't know the creator, if you don't know the person you're watching, you don't know the kind of values that they're trying to instill, what's the point of actually watching them? So really quickly, I am based. Just going to say it out there. I'm traditional. I've been raised by, a veteran. I've been raised by, people who have more traditional mindsets about things. I'm very big into positive masculinity. I'm very big into the red pill community, if you want to call it that. But I also want to warn people who might get offended by certain things that people say that are the truth, that are what reality is. And I'm going to be putting out content much like Andrew Tate, Fresh and Fit, Sneeko, a lot of the bigger people out there in the space that have been canceled. That's kind of what I'm following, and it might sound crazy, but that's really what I resonate with. That's the kind of stuff I want to put out there because I feel like the values that really keep our society together, that make men higher value, that make men's lives better, that make you be able to make your own life better as a man, they're being drained from Western civilization. I don't think that's cool. I think everybody needs to be equipped with the right kind of information and knowledge that they need to be equipped with, and that's what I look to kind of bring to everybody, along with my lifestyle, along with my real estate journey, along with everything else that I'm bringing to you guys. So that's just a quick update. That's just so it's a preface for anyone who finds me. If you get offended, if you might not get offended, I'm not sorry. I'm going to be on Rumble too. If you want, I'll put that link in the description. So there will be more drawn out, uncensored content out there that I can say more things that are on my mind without being canceled on YouTube. But that being said, let's get right into this video. All right, where was I? That's right. Fuck your New Year's resolution. And I say that with a lot of conviction for a reason. And I want you to just sit here and ask yourself a question. Just very quickly, hold on. Have you ever, okay, written a goal down or set a goal or intention, and because you made it more apparent and you wrote it down, you didn't follow through with it? If you said yes, don't worry. You are not alone at all. Don't even think about it. People do a lot of things to cope out of actually taking action on the things they want to take action on and chasing their goals, chasing their dreams. And this is one of the biggest reasons. According to InsideOutMastery.com, 80% of people or adults in the US over 18 years old set a New Year's resolution, and only 9% of them even try to follow through with it, let alone actually getting all the way through with it. This time of the year, things are ending, cycles are dying off, the new year starting, there's more kind of fresh energy that people like to go out into the world and achieve their dreams with, right? But there are levels to these things where people use goals, New Year's resolutions to cope or to cop out of doing actual work, okay? Now, as someone who struggled with procrastination in my life, as someone who has, taken courses on writing goals, who's gone through, life coaching school at my age. I know I'm not an actual life coach yet because I'm fucking 20 years old, but I've gotten the certifications in neuro-linguistic programming. I've learned how the psychology of setting goals affects people. And I've also learned how, people use it to their detriment and not even to their benefit. Goal writing is actually not the way to go about setting goals. You shouldn't set goals and just leave them, right? Now, where it becomes an actual problem is when people use it as a cop-out for the day-to-day goals they set for themselves in real life, in real time. Not just the one at the end of the year or the beginning of the year, right? It's the ones that, fill up their daily life schedule that they use to cop out of doing the actual work. It's almost like a form of PORN, because I'm not allowed to say that on YouTube, right? It's a form of like mental masturbation, if you want to call it that. The same way that if you're into personal development, you'll go on YouTube and you'll binge watch people talking about, how to, have a positive mindset, how to set goals, how to be successful, how to do this. But then you never take action on it. You're 5 years down the rabbit hole and you haven't started your first business yet. You haven't taken action. You haven't gone and sold anything yet. You haven't gone and made any money. You haven't, you haven't set any long-term goals for yourself. But that's a different way to do that. You'll just sit there and watch the content, and people literally get stuck in a cycle of not doing anything just by watching the content, right? It's the same sort of thing. Your brain gets a dopamine release off of thinking that you're improving, thinking you're moving somewhere, thinking you're getting somewhere by watching someone else do it, or by lying to yourself, which more people do than ever. And it really, it's a detriment to to your personal development, I want to say, and a lot of people use it differently. Now, how do you actually set a goal or an intention and get that thing done? What successful people that I have studied, that I've been around, that I've learned from, that I've been mentored from, they've showed me their methods of doing things, and they're all pretty similar after a certain income bracket, and I'll explain that to you now. Have you heard of time blocking? Time blocking is something where you're setting more short form goals, but you're making sure you get them done by giving yourself a dedicated amount of time to get that thing done, right? By blocking out your day, like on a calendar, a certain amount of hours. Now, you don't have to do this on your calendar. You can start off small. You can start off in whatever way you want, right? There are mental blocks that those break instead of just setting a thing like, I'm gonna make this amount of money this year. And then when does that happen? There's no steps towards it. There's no deliberation of a plan. If you don't have a plan for something, right? A goal needs a plan, or else it's just a goal. It's just something you're writing up on the board, right? No one ever just got rich by accident. Like, oops, unless you win the lottery, again, it's not gonna happen. Unless you invest in that one pump and dump crypto, that's never gonna happen again, because the crypto market is not gonna be built for those in the next few years. It's not gonna happen. You don't just get rich on accident, right? You don't make money on accident. You don't get successful on accident. It is, anyone who's ever been successful before has had years of preparation, years of studying, years of actually working for it, years of hardship, and then they've actually become the person that they need to become to get the money, because then once you have the money or you have the success, you have to know how to keep it, right? And all these things are parts of plans that people set up, that people create with other people for, long-term success, and not many people see in the short term when they're just setting New Year's resolutions, right? So, along with time blocking, set that aside, there's a method I want to talk about in this video that can help you guys kind of see where you want to be in the next 10, 20 years, and actually, maneuver around figuring out what is the most important thing you need to do to get there, okay? Warren Buffett. I'll talk about him because he's the most successful investor in history, or one of them, I should say. So he has a method that was kind of explained to me about 5 years ago, and since I have learned that method, everything in my life has come to fruition around how I've structured my goals because of him, okay? This is what you're going to do. You're going to take out a list, take out a piece of paper, you're going to take out, a notepad on your phone, whatever you're going to do, wherever you're going to write something down. And you're going to write down the top 25 things you want to achieve in your life from now until you die. Write down the top 25 things. Now, have some of them be more things you can achieve also in the next, let's say, 5 to 10 years. Have some of them be things that you might take 30, 40, 50 years to achieve. But, goals don't come in a certain amount of time. They come when they're meant to come, because the universe is a mysterious thing, and it'll bring you exactly what you need to have when you need it. And this is what you're going to do. You're going to rank each thing in importance from number 1 to 25. Number 1 being the most important, 25 being least important. Right? So pause the video, do that, and then unpause it when you're ready. Okay, so now that you've done that, the next thing you're going to do is scratch out the top 20. Scratch out the bottom 20, whatever you want to call it. Leave only 1 through 5. That is what you're going to focus on the rest of your life. Those top most important things are the things you need to actually focus on to get yourself to where you want to be. That'll be the most fulfilling once you achieve them. Everything you do from now on is going to be structured around those top 5 goals. Now, you can add things in. Once you achieve some, you can pull out from the other 20. Until you actually make headway on those most important top 5, There's nothing else you should really be worried about. The best part about this is now, okay, you have those top 5. Now it's about breaking them down into steps that you can take to actually move yourself towards them, right? So something you might have on that list that might take you 20 years, you can put that over to the side, have something that might take you 5 years. Okay, great. Let's break it down. What do I need, right? What do I need? I don't know what your goals are, so I can't think of any examples for you, but for me, I'll say this, right? One of the most important things for me is building a real estate empire. I want to have $150 million or more in real estate in the next 15 to 20 years, okay? That is my goal. I believe I could do that in shorter than that amount of time, but I set that, time frame for myself just so I have the right resources. I give myself enough time. I'm not stressing about it, but I'm also moving forward because I know 20 years kind of goes by pretty quick, and I have, where'd I start? Great. I want to get my real estate. I want to learn about real estate. Let me get my real estate license. That'll teach me a lot about real estate. Boom. I just went through the course. I'm getting my license now. All right. Now I got to figure out how to sell real estate, get into that world of it. Great. I'm moving forward with that. I'm taking courses. I'm learning from a few real estate agents right now. Great. What's next? Now I got to understand how to invest in real estate. All right. There's a lot of investing channels out there. I'm going through learning as much content as I can. I'm joining mastermind groups. I'm going to events. I'm figuring out how to structure deals from the people who have done it, who are my age, who own multi-million dollars, in real estate. And I'm figuring out how to do it through these people. These are steps, right? I can see okay, learn this, great. Buy my first property. Great. Once I buy my first property, I raise the value of it. I do some renovations, raise the rent, raise the income, make some money off that. Great. Flip it into the next property and then buy 2 properties. And the next year after that, buy 5 properties. And the next year after that, buy 10 properties. And there's more in-depth day by day, steps that go into it. But right, that is off of the main goal of owning that much real estate. I was able to derive the steps from step 1 of what I think I needed to do or what was, the most in my interest, all the way up to where I 50% of the way there, boom. In 10 years, I might have $80 million in real estate. And it started with me making a decision first off and then going and get my real estate license. Then diving into the world more, then figuring out the investing side of things, then going and actually investing, and then multiplying it and figuring out different strategies and how not to lose the real estate. That is my example of it and how I see, it happening for myself. I've done it with other things, but these things can be extrapolated over, your entire lifetime to help you always have direction, because this is about always feeling a purpose and always moving towards something, as well as actually just taking action. Because if I just set a New Year's resolution, okay, have this much real estate, cool. But what comes from it? There's nothing I write it down. If you don't derive a plan from it, the point of setting a long-term thing is you're like, okay, that's long-term. Now I got to have a plan for it. Then you figure out the plan. You figure out the steps. If you just write a New Year's resolution, you think it's for that 1 year. You're like, I don't really care if it happens or not. Or you're like, okay, I'm going to make this happen. And then you don't, because of the stigma of it, you don't think of it as like a plan, like a mission for life. You don't actually dive into it. You don't make it as important as it needs to be. And then it never happens. And that's the, not unfortunate, but just the true reality for a lot of people these days that, struggle with personal development, struggle with their own goals, finding success, making more money, yada, yada, yada. It's about actually having like a plan and figuring out how to maneuver, take steps, and get those things done. So that's my rant on New Year's resolutions, why I don't like them, why there are way better ways of setting goals and actually following through on them in a more productive way. And I believe that if everyone kind of followed a different method, there'd be a lot more people seeing the results they want to see. So, with that being said, I want to thank everybody for watching this video. If you find value in this, if you like how I deliver a message, content, please drop a like, subscribe. I'm on Rumble. You can follow my Instagram, Facebook, whatever you want to follow. I'm not making anybody do anything yet, right? I'm going to be putting out a lot more content. Tomorrow I have another video coming out. I'm kind of stockpiling videos these past couple days so I can get some content out. And I hope to see you guys in the next few videos. If you want to, like I said, drop a like, drop a comment. That helps the algorithm, helps my videos get out there. I'll be dropping shorts as well every day. But yeah, until then, I'll see you guys next time. And fuck your New Year's resolution. It's a cold, cold
Came up from the bottom, it's a cold, cold world. Just cop a Emirati with some ice.